It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Let's talk some sports. It is Wednesday, February 15th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, and we want to thank everybody watching on Fox2Detroit.com and the Fox 2 News app. We got some monthly numbers from that platform earlier today, and we just cannot thank you enough. Continuing to grow and really great viewership on that platform, Fox2Detroit.com. Thank you so much. And, of course, everybody watching on WoodwardSports.com. Got a bit of a facelift to that website. We're very proud of that website. And thank you so much. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, too, as well. Good to hear those numbers you shared there with me before the show. What I can say in the words of Lil Wayne, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. So it's good to see those numbers. Appreciate the fans out there supporting us and what we do. We're glad that we're bringing your product. Ryan Ermanni, Tom Mazawey, myself, Fletch, JB. We're bringing it to you something wrong funky, and we're glad that you're a part of the journey. Speaking of Maz, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, fellas. Happy Wednesday, right? It's hump day?
That's right.
All right.
It's like 60 out today, too.
I know. I love the break.
Sleeve shirt on. Are you kidding me?
The air's on in here.
You gotta have the air. It's like 60 out there.
It feels amazing outside. The sun's shining. It's beautiful. But you know what's crazy about it is you look at it, Matt. Tell me if I'm wrong. Ryan Ermanni, we've spent a lot of time on this earth for 23 of us, especially here in Michigan. Usually you'll get some days like this in January or February, but you always know it's something behind it.
We're gonna pay for it,
right? But this one feels different. Like this winter, this January, this February, current month, 6 days away from my 40th, but the month that we're in, it doesn't feel like it's going to stop. I don't feel a major snow and chill coming behind this. I kind of feel like the groundhog might have been lying.
All right.
No
Just
doubt.
saying.
I'm all with it, man. Bring it. Bring on spring, and it's Tigers. Pitchers and catchers have reported. And we're going to talk to Dan Dickerson a little bit later today. He's going to be on his way down to the Grapefruit League here in a couple of days. But we'll talk to Dan about all the new rules in baseball. Hey, guys.
There's a lot
of new rules in baseball, and I think you're going to like them. And the games are going to be, I'm telling you, they're going to be sped up the way people want it to be. It's going to be a lot quicker, a lot more enjoyable, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that this season will be a pretty good one here in Detroit.
Can't wait to hear about pitches and catches from you, Tom Mazawey, lifelong Tigers fan as well as Braves fan like me. Also Yankees, also Mets. I get it. Ryan Ermanni is a closet Tigers fan. It's his favorite team in the state. You can't fool me, Ryan Ermanni. And also Fletch is excited that it's back. So we'll get to that. But I gotta give you a documentary to watch before we get going. Okay. So you know me, I love to watch what's current, what's on.
Yep.
You know, I also try to find some.
You got a good eye.
I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Just try to find some little nooks and crannies, slips through the cracks. I watched this special on Showtime. Okay, it's about Chris Jackson, aka Mahmoud Abdul Rauf.
Remember him well.
Stan. Okay, now it's Stan. He changed his faith in 1993. He went from Christian, he went to Islam, and then he caught a lot of backlash because the way he interpreted his faith was he shouldn't stand for the national anthem. And it's not about that, okay? Now, I don't bring this up to get into a Colin Kaepernick or the flag versus black, white, no. I bring this up as an American story of resiliency and triumph. Like, when you watch this story, you talk about a guy that had Tourette's, like, didn't even know what it was. Like, didn't even know he had to. He thought he had habits that he was supposed to outgrow. He finds out he has Tourette's when he's 17. Finds out he has Tourette's. Fights through Tourette's. Changes his religion. Like, so he went through a lot. Mom struggled. Dirt poor. The typical story. But he just kept fighting. Even when he changed his faith and, the country ousted him. It's different when kind of when Colin Kaepernick took a stand, Maz, because Colin took a knee, but there's Black Lives Matter.
Yep.
Like so he's not fighting by himself. You know, you look at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or all those other ones. People were fighting civil rights, so they were with him. He fought this by himself. Fought it by himself. He stayed strong. He stayed firm on his faith. Stayed firm on his belief. They burnt the man's house down in Mississippi. $400,000 he'll never get back. Burnt it down. Still never picked up a gun, never picked up violence. He kept fighting, kept staying resilient, and now he's doing well now later in life. But he's just so resilient. I urge everyone to watch it once again. It's not black, it's not white. It's just a story about somebody who believed in something, staying firm on their faith, and they overcome. Great freaking watch.
That's very remarkable. I remember his story, not well, but I remember the story, and that is definitely intriguing.
Unguardable.
Absolutely. Big show for you today, guys. Going to talk some Lions, big, bold move you'd like to see Brad Holmes do in the offseason. Also, Dan Dickerson, as Maz mentioned. But I want to, you ever see those moments? Something happens, you see a guy, it's his birthday, this, that, the other thing, where it just makes you feel old. Yeah, and I feel like Braylon Edwards at 40 makes me feel old too, by the way. That's another one. No offense. But Michael Jordan at 60 makes me feel old. Michael Jordan is turning 60, and one of the things he's doing on his 60th birthday, he donated $10 million to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, an organization that he partnered with back in 1989. It's the largest single donation by an individual or an organization to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Michael Jordan on his 60th birthday. Congratulations to the greatest
February
basketball
17th.
player that I've ever seen. And really, to me, forget about basketball, Michael Jordan, to me, is the greatest athlete that I have seen in my lifetime, 44 years.
Muhammad Ali, Tiger Woods.
For you, maybe. For me, it's I didn't see Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, like when you I'm
just talking about athletes who I have seen.
I'm good for you, bro.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Ryan Ermanni on that. When I think athlete, I think Michael Jordan. My lifetime, when I saw the impact that he had, it's Michael Jordan. Ali's probably the greatest humanitarian of all time. 100% Maz there. When I think of Tiger Woods, damn great. He's in that category, but it's just I can't. I'm watching Michael Jordan dunk from the free throw line. I'm watching Tiger walk up to the 18th green. It's tough. But 100%, you're talking about. See, you got what were we
Michael Jordan, 60.
Michael Jordan at 60, just incredible. Like the career that he had, incredible to be able to do it as long as he's done it. But the thing I think about Michael Jordan, when you talk about the donation side, you're talking about the philanthropic side of things. Everyone always remembers the one quote. Maz, I know you know it. Ryan, I know you know it too. Republicans buy sneakers too. That was a big thing that came over Michael Jordan like 88 or 89, and it kind of wrecked his image in the black community as it relates to giving or being philanthropic or in general. Michael has done so much. He's given so much, but Michael's one of those guys, as it comes to giving, he's quiet. Like Michael's not the guy that's dropping $100 million and the guy let you know about it or whatever. And hey, come look at me. Now he's a look at me dude. It's Michael Jordan we're talking about. It's Michael Jordan. But a lot of philanthropic endeavors that he's done, he's given a lot over the years to the Ronald McDonald, other houses and other causes over the years. So this kind of falls in line with some of the work he's done. Remember, during the whole process, 2018, he gave a bunch to the Chicago Police Department that was doing a lot. So he's always giving, just very quiet.
You make a wish. I don't think you can get a better one than that. Make a wish is something.
Wicked Awesome Wishes is pretty good too. Our friends at Lady Jane's, they do that.
Got it right here.
Exactly. Hey, before we move on, guys, I want to acknowledge too. You mentioned Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods going to play in a golf tournament tomorrow, and that's the next golf tournament I'll watch. Is the one that he's in, right?
Until he's out.
I mean, until he's out, I'll watch him play golf on Thursday. I'll watch him play on Friday. If he's not in that golf tournament for the weekend, see you later. Sayonara.
This is a very important
especially now with LIV.
Yeah.
Where you've got all these golfers all over the place. I need to see some rivalries here. I need to see PGA versus LIV, not just separation. It will happen, absolutely.
It will happen. And also, you got the Masters coming up in April. The golf season is kicking off. This is an interesting one, Ryan, because keep in mind, this is the one he actually got into that car accident and almost lost his leg and had it amputated. This is that outing, the Genesis outing, so keep an eye on that when you're watching this week. Yeah.
And he says he's here for the W. He
don't play unless he thinks he can win.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true.
So there you go. Guys, let's talk a little Detroit Lions if we can. We're going to have the combine. We're going to have free agency. We're going to have the draft. And I think so many people focus on the NFL draft is the way for the Lions to get better this year. But I really believe, in addition to the draft, we're going to learn a lot about this team and their aspirations for a Super Bowl. And again, I don't use those two words lightly in conjunction with the Detroit Lions. I really mean it. I think they have the opportunity to play in and win a Super Bowl if they make some key moves. And before you can get to the draft, there's this little thing, it's called free agency. And it's something that the Lions really haven't been active in for the better part of the last decade, or at least to the point, Braylon, where you felt they were X number of players away. I mean, I would like to see, in addition to retaining some of their own guys, DJ Chark, Jamal Williams, Isaiah Buggs, John Kaminsky. I'm talking about bringing those guys back, absolutely. But I can't remember a time I have felt that, I feel like this team is two big free agent signings away from legitimately competing for an NFC championship. And let's start there before we go into individual players. How many players would you like to see Brad Holmes go get? How many players do you think they are away in terms of free agency? They're going to get 5 of the top 80 picks in the draft.
Yeah.
But what about free agency? Where would you like to see them go in terms of a number of signings? I think outside of their own guys.
Outside of their own guys, I think 5. I think they need 3 solid guys on the defensive side of things, and I think they need 2 guys on the offensive side. On the offensive side, I'm looking for running back. If you're not going to get Bijan Robinson, you're looking at these running backs: Maz Loves, Tony Pollard, Dalvin Cook is a guy that's about to be released, and you've seen him prove it over time, new system. So I would love to see a running back of that caliber and an offensive lineman, because I feel like wide receivers feel like you're going to resign DJ Chark. Jameson Williams will play a bigger role next year, and then obviously Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I'm cool. I think offensive lineman, and I think maybe a running back or so. On the other side of the ball, I need a defensive lineman, I need a linebacker, and I need a secondary member. I want it to be a cornerback. Like, I'm high on Jalen Ramsey. And now I'm talking, and people say, well, I don't think Jalen Ramsey commands pick 18. I don't think he commands a first-round pick anymore. So if you're telling me I can get Jalen Ramsey for a second and a third, I'm on board with that. I think those are moves. Levante David is a move that I definitely want to see them making. And James Houston as an experienced defensive lineman that can come in, because we had a lot of young talent on the D-line, but we don't have a ton of proven veteran starters, proven veteran Pro Bowlers, proven veteran guys like James Houston. James Houston is upwards of 100 tackles in his career. Invaluable experience. Outside of that, I like what they have on tap. I think last year everybody was up in arms. Oh, we're going to run it back 3-13-1. Oh my God, you're bringing everybody back from the 3-13-1. Where Brad Holmes showed us, little to our knowledge, say, you know what? I'm going to save this money. I'm going to keep these picks rolling there. I'm going to build this way. I'm going to have you see what I see, so that when it's time to get the right free agents, when the right free agents are right there. We could have gone after some big free agents last year, Ryan. We had money. Maz, we could have brought in Bobby Wagner.
Weren't ready yet.
We could have bought, exactly, we weren't ready yet. We'd have bought these guys in, paid them a ton of money, been stuck with these guys, and not necessarily been able to build the way they're building now. Lions are in a damn good position. They told us to wait. You know what? Looks like they were right. So I'm excited to see what they do. But 5, 3 defense, 2 offense.
I definitely want a defensive back, I want a linebacker, and I want a backup quarterback. That's all. That's it.
But you can get that quarterback in the draft, though, too.
But I want a true backup quarterback.
Okay.
I really do.
All right, we're going to get into some of the names. The bold moves Brad Holmes should make this offseason. Share yours as well in the woodwardsports.com chat. If you want to get in, give us a call. 313-552-6322. 313-552-6322. Which free agent would you like to see Brad Holmes bring here? The boldest move you can make. We'll do it next, but first a message from SMA.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance use disorder. Podcast is called This is the S Word. And This is the S Word is talking about stigma. They're trying to destigmatize mental health. We want to destigmatize mental health. Sean Jordan does an amazing job providing you the content, the conversation, and the information. Go to thesportsma.com if you or anybody you know needs help. thesportsma.com.
By now you know me, Christina Schnurry, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com. as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey, gang, it's Maz for Cousins Maine Lobster.
Hey, Maz.
CousinsMaineLobster.com. Click on that QR code right now because I'll tell you what, some big news happening for the people at Cousins Maine Lobster. They are up. Their food truck is up for Food Truck of the Year. Make sure you go to vote for them at thefreak.com, Best of Detroit. Follow them on Facebook.com/CML Detroit for your chance to win a $300 Visa gift card if they win Food Truck of the Year. Make sure you try Cousins Maine Lobster today. Scan that QR code, find out where they'll be next, and make sure you vote for them. Food Truck of the Year, CousinsMaineLobster.com.
Hey, welcome back. WoodwardSports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Fletch and JB as well. If you are watching on WoodwardSports.com, you may have noticed a bit of a facelift to that website. We certainly appreciate it. You get the scores. You get the WoodwardSports.com chat. It automatically populates the live shows from 8 a.m. until 10, from 11 to 1, from 2 to 4, and then, of course, 5 to 7. Braylon, let me come to you with this first. And, again, if you'd like to share your thoughts with us, 313-552-6322. When you look at free agency, Brad Holmes has not really made his mark in that side of things yet. I mean, yes, he brought in DJ Chark at a very team-friendly deal. But outside of that, relatively quiet on the free agent market. This is an opportunity where you have some money, you have some flexibility, you are just a couple of players away, we believe. How bold do you want to be? So I'm asking people, give me your bold moves to improve this team right away and make them a Super Bowl contender. I want to start with you here. And I know, not to beat a dead horse, but you have been on this guy, and you think he really can make all the difference for this very weak secondary.
Yeah, 100%. You know, you're talking about making bold moves. My bold move is I'll stick with this so it can really be bold. I'm getting rid of 18, and I'm going to get Jalen Ramsey. I think there's a lot of moves that you can make and get more draft capital. You can move back in the draft, per se, if a team such as Carolina wants to move up and draft Anthony Richardson, if they don't get Derek Carr, which we'll talk about. I think also, you know, looking at Jalen Ramsey, what he can afford. You're thinking about getting a running back. I think there's a lot of ways to get a running back. Maybe Tony Pollard wants to fit into your system. Maybe you want to go and draft Bijan Robinson. Or maybe you want to pick up a guy like Dalvin Cook, who's about to get released from the Minnesota Vikings, a guy that you know is proven to be one of the best running backs in totality in the league. But a guy like Jalen Ramsey, I go back to this. You got to have a DB. You got to have on defense, you got to start getting the players where you don't have to have worries, Ryan. Like, you got to start having players play that when you go into a game, you're not worried about set third of the field. Jalen Ramsey's locking down the third of the field, maybe even a half, depending on the right system. You got to start getting guys like that. You got to start getting guys. You watch now the good teams, they're not blitzing. They're just running 4-down linemen. You got to add to that defensive lineman. But going back to Jalen Ramsey, if you got guys like Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson, basically every game you play in, Maz, you got the young guys like Chris Olave, you got Garrett Wilson. Every game you play in, you're going to have one of these young wide receiver studs that's walking into your building to drop 150 on you, to drop 145 on you, to have 2 touchdowns to increase somebody's fantasy. You got to have a lockdown corner. And Jalen Ramsey is still in that top 3. No matter what you want to say about a down season, he still made big plays in big-time moments this season. In a losing season, he still was getting picks at the end of games to seal off games and win games. A guy like Jalen Ramsey allows you to play on the other 66% side of the field. You don't have to worry about Jalen Ramsey and what's going to happen on that side. You got to get a player like that. And now he's getting a little older. You're saying that people have a little bit of success on him. Maybe his ticket isn't as much. Maybe you can make a bold move that's not what we would consider a bold move 2 years ago for Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is a guy I think you have. And then also when you bring young DBs around Jalen Ramsey, I know if I was a young DB and I was around Jalen Ramsey, I'm all ears. I'm watching everything that this guy is doing because he's been DB1 for the better part of 7 years now, since he was in Jacksonville and said he was DB1. I think it's a damn good move, and I think you're at a time where everything is working out for what his contract will be, what you might have to give up to get him, and where he is mentally to handle and coach younger players.
I really like it. Maz, do you have a player or two that you'd like to go get? Bold move. I'm talking bold move, yeah.
First of all, I want to keep Anzalone at linebacker. I'm a linebacker guy, all right? I'm a Lawrence Taylor guy. There's no Lawrence Taylors out there, but I do like a guy, Devin Bush. Devin Bush is out there. He's still got some tread on the tire. Bring him back here to Michigan. Put him in that Detroit in that second backfield there, Mike linebacker, outside linebacker, wherever he's going to fit, and let him help there. And then that avoids you from reaching for a guy that I don't know if the rookie linebackers that they're putting out there are lockdown. I just don't believe in them. So I would rather go get a Devin Bush and then concentrate on my offense in the draft, right? Also, James Bradbury. I know he didn't have a great Super Bowl. He got called on that holding at the end of the game, but James Bradbury is going to be available. So he might be a little bit of a cheaper option than what Braylon is going after on Jalen Ramsey. You might have to give up. You don't have to give up any draft picks to get Bradbury. You got to pay a little bit to get him. But I'd rather not give my draft picks up, Bray, for Jalen. I think he's good. I don't think he's as good as he used to be, and I just don't want to get stuck with a guy that's on the tail end of his career and pay a lot for him.
You know, I understand. You're absolutely right. I mean, that is definitely a concern to have. The Devin Bush thing I like. I like Devin Bush. He'll be entering year 7 of his NFL year. He's been hurt a couple times, so he hasn't played fully, but he's a torpedo. Like we've seen Devin, when he's in there, he's locked and loaded. You saw him at the beginning of the season this year have some real success before he got hurt. He's a torpedo, man. He's sideline to sideline, the type of linebacker you want. Maybe coming back to Detroit, which is up the street or down the street or side the street. You know, it's always tricky with Detroit and Ann Arbor to how close that is in proximity. Maybe that gives him new life. Maybe playing next to Aiden Hutchinson. Maybe gives him some new life, and he's still young. And he'll be cheap. I like that one. The Bradbury one I want to push back on because I think but not because I don't like Bradbury. It has nothing to do with the Super Bowl either. I think his ticket's going to command a lot, and I think because of this year, his value has gone up a lot. Everybody's talked about him on the other side of the sleigh, them being lockdown corners, him being all pro, going into the Super Bowl. He was shutting guys down. So I think his ticket's going to be high, and I don't know if his skill set is worth the ticket. Because I've seen some wide receivers, and this is even before Debo said something. I've seen wide receivers, Ryan, that I'm like, I mean, Bradbury's good, but he's good because that defensive line is getting 79 sacks, a lot of coverage interceptions. Darius Slay on the other side, safety. So for what James Bradbury might command, I'm not willing to play that yet.
I'll give you two guys for me that I really want them to go after in free agency. Talking bold moves. I mean, these are two of the top 20 guys, I think, in the free agency period this year, and you just have to look at one location, and that's the Tampa Bay Bucks, who were really good defensively this year. I'm talking for as bad as the offense felt they were, the defense was pretty darn good. Two guys I want on that defense to come here to Detroit as unrestricted free agents. Jamal Dean, the defensive back, cornerback, probably going to command somewhere in the neighborhood of $16 million a year, perhaps. You are a mess in that secondary. That's why you hear about the Bradburys of the world. That's why you hear about giving 18 for Jamal or for Jalen Ramsey, because of how bad this secondary was this year. I think you pluck Dean back there, and you are better immediately. Also, I think you go get linebacker Levante David. 33 years old, give him a 2-year deal, $10 million a year, and let him work with these linebackers. Don't you want him around? Because look, the Lions are so freaking young. Don't you want a champion around them? Don't you want to just put a champion in that locker room? Yeah. Don't you want to put a champion in that room? Now, I know with an older guy, they kind of did that with Michael Brockers, and it did not work. I understand that. But Levante David, I feel like, has a lot left to give. To pluck him in the middle of that Lions defense, maybe a drafted defensive tackle, or even go out and get a defensive tackle through free agency. But those two guys, I think, help you at the second level, help you on the back end. And then, obviously, look, if you want to trade for Jalen Ramsey and sign Dean, go ahead and cut Jeff Okudah, save you $5 million.
Yeah.
In this salary cap, to me, it's all funny money. There are things,
but you got to pay for it eventually.
You will have to pay for it eventually, but
when's the ticket due?
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Maybe you do that stuff and you don't re-sign the quarterback Goff and you draft one. I'm not going down that road right now. But I just think you can really improve your secondary and your defense with those three moves specifically. But even if you don't trade for Ramsey, if you just sign Dean and Levante David from the Bucs, who are in salary cap hell, I think you improve yourself greatly right away.
The two things I like about what you said are, one, you're talking about getting secondary and linebackers. You're talking about defensive players. That's where the Lions were weak last year. And I like what you said. I like Dean. I didn't even think about Dean. That's a great idea. It's a great concept.
I mean, Dean, he'll be more expensive than Bradbury. But 4 years younger, too.
Well, exactly. 4 years younger, has the same amount of production, if
How
you will.
old is he?
26 in September, as opposed to 30.
Right.
But the thing I also like about Levante David, 33 years old, but that doesn't matter. The guy can still play. Guy can still command. Guy can still go out there and get 125, 30 tackles. But what it is, Ryan, it's that invaluable knowledge. Like, now that we're looking at the Lions through the lens of, oh, you know what? Man, 9-8 last year. They almost made the playoffs last year. Look at the draft capital this year. Look at how he's drafted. Look at what the money they've saved. Now we're looking at the Lions like they're going to take that next step. When you take that next step, you want to have guys around that have been there. And not just guys like Michael Brock. It's like, yeah, Michael, they went. But Michael wasn't a leader when they were doing those things out there with the Rams. Jared Goff was a quiet leader, and that was a long time ago. You want guys that have won. You want guys that have that I've been there, I've won, I know what it takes. Levante David, last time I checked, his defense beat Patrick Mahomes. Now, they were down their tackles, but that defense was incredible in that playoff. So that's a guy I love that pick. Because now you want to surround these young guys, you got to have those experienced players, not coaches. You got a ton of experienced coaches that have played, from Hank Fraley to, Antoine Randall L. to Mark Brunell. We get that. But you want players. Because players are the ones hanging out with players. Players are the ones that are in those meetings. Players are the ones that are on the phone after practice. Man, coach was on some BS today. Oh, that's kind of how it goes sometimes, but this is how you play the game. You need those guys around the locker room now.
Hey, listen, I'm going to pluck another guy from the Philadelphia Eagles, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Safety. I know. Safety is safety. But he is an overachiever. He is in your face. He is like Jalen Ramsey. To me,
that tackle he made in the Super Bowl on Pacheco was amazing.
I mean, I really like him.
25 years old.
I think they stole him from the Saints,
and they did.
And I think that's a guy I'd put him maybe at the top of my list.
The only problem with that, and I agree with you, the only problem with that is that you feel like you are somewhat comfortable there with Tracy Walker coming back and Kirby Joseph.
I get it, but I'm not comfortable with Tracy Walker, although I love him as a guy.
Yeah.
He's a terrific guy. And what's wrong with him being a third? Or I don't know, you move people around, you put good people on your defense.
Yeah.
That's it. This kid's 25.
Yeah, he'll be 25.
He's a heat-seeking missile, man.
As is on to something around Ermanni.
Pretty good stuff. We can continue the conversation, guys. Also, did you see what Ryan Clark said about the coaching situation for the Arizona Cardinals and Eric Bieniemy? We will give that to you next. And the Colts. We'll do that for you next. But first, a message from the Foaling Warehouse.
Yes, sir, guys. If you've never been foaling, it's awesome. It's throwing a football at bowling pins. It is so fun. And the Foaling Warehouse is like a throwback. You get there, you think you're in the 60s or 70s. It is just phenomenal. Huge space. Get down there and make sure you say hi to everyone and tell them Woodward Sports sent you. 2 ways to play it: $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. Get it for 2 hours for $120. You can put 10 or 12 people on a lane. You bring your own food in or have it delivered, and any drink in the house you want. They got 2 multiple full bars and over 100 beers on that menu, plus the $2 mystery beer machine. Get your full on. FoldingWarehouse.com.
.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner jumper. Tweet us. Hop on the YouTube chat. Slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Find your big fitness energy now through February 16th, because now through February 16th you can join Planet Fitness for $1 down and just $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yes, only $10, but you have to hurry up because this offer does end soon. So get into a Planet Fitness as soon as you can. But also, Planet Fitness is hiring. Make your workout place your workplace. Planet Fitness offers a fun and friendly environment, flexible schedules, and so much more to their employees. If you're looking to join Planet Fitness, join In Club, or you can always check them out online at planetfitness.com.
That's for Crystal with an X.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Hey, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, feel free to go ahead and make sure you subscribe, tell a friend about us, and of course leave a 5-star review. We would absolutely appreciate that if you could. That helps us get more of our product out. Absolutely, we appreciate it.
Hey, Ryan and Maz, let me jump in real quick before we start. Super Bowl parade parties, NBA parade parties, they're fun to watch, correct, Maz?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I want your take on it from watching older parades and older NBA. You too, Maz. Like, obviously, it used to be sit on stage and everybody was chill and professional. Every once in a while, you might get one character say something that's chill. Now, it's an S show.
It is,
if you will, of sorts.
Well, they're drunk.
I'll never forget those Pistons parades.
I love it, and that's why
back in the day, 89, 90.
Yeah,
David Greenwood. What
best,
time
man.
is it? Hammer time.
But no, I want it because like nowadays it's such a S show. But I love it. Like, cats show their personalities. Like, guys aren't fake. Like, this is who I am. You see Matt Stafford drunk. Like, nobody's ever seen him take a drink in public. You know what I'm saying? You see him drunk.
How about Brady chucking the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl trophy. This is Tom Brady we're talking about.
And then he threw up.
This is true.
Then he got COVID somehow.
Well, he had COVID. They had COVID in the Super Bowl.
Right.
You see Patrick Mahomes today, you know, he's faking like he's throwing a Lombardi out in the crowd again, kind of doing what Tom did. I like it. How do you feel about it? Is it too much or you like it?
I like it. I like seeing these guys with their personalities.
Good.
I mean, come on, man.
Good.
They just won the championship. They just busted their ass for like 6 months.
J.R. Smith with no shirt on. You were cool with it?
I'm cool with it.
Yes.
100% cool.
Well, I mean,
It's a parade.
These guys
I'm
are
with you
allowed
guys.
to let their hair down once in a while, so to speak. And I mean, especially in a parade like that, I think the people really get a sense of, man, just having a good time, celebrating your accomplishments.
I think the NFL always tries to follow suit with the NBA. It takes the NFL much longer, but the NBA is always at the cutting edge. Like, last thing I'll let you go around. Look how NBA interviews are now conducted at the press conference and microphone. Guys are cussing. Guys are really doing emotion. There are no fines anymore. They're not fining them $20,000 for dropping the F-bomb. They're letting players be themselves and have emotion. Now, on the other side, sometimes players show too much, but I think it's a good job. And the NBA is always at the forefront of cutting edge technology. And advancement, I guess.
All right, guys, let's get to this. This was a really big story yesterday. It continued today, and that is in regards to
it's a big story for the last 6 years.
Yeah, it really has. I think a lot of people are really upset about this. So yesterday, it was announced that the Arizona Cardinals were hiring Jonathan Gannon, the defensive coordinator of the Eagles, as their head coach. And the Indianapolis Colts were hiring Shane Steichen as head coach. He was the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me put up for you what Ryan Clark from ESPN tweeted yesterday. Sounds good. Be a losing coordinator in the Super Bowl and be a head coach in 2 days. Congrats, Gannon and Steichen. Go to 5 AFC chips, 3 Super Bowls, win 2 rings, and hope for a lateral move to prove yourself all over again. Get bleep again on Bieniemy. Not sure what dude did, but ... I'll come to you.
He had to rob a bank or something.
Let me say this.
Sleep with all these guys' wives.
I don't know how many people watch PTI. Pardon the interruption.
But it used to be good.
It used to be a very big show, and used to be actually the first conversational debate show. All these debate shows were born from PTI, to be quite frank with you. And I saw the video last night. Michael Wilbon was as adamant as you have ever seen Michael Wilbon.
I like Mike.
I like that show a lot.
He's a legend.
But he was as animated as you will ever see him get over not only these 2 hires, but the fact that Jim Caldwell was not hired this cycle or last cycle or any other cycle since he's had 3 winning seasons with the Detroit Lions. Braylon, I'll come to you with this because a lot of people want to hear your perspective with this, and then we'll share ours.
I mean, I said yesterday, when we sat here yesterday, we talked about the situation. I said it is a shame that this coach, that Gannon, defensive coordinator, as bad as that team played, as average as his defense was considering the year before in terms of the numbers based on the talent that they had, that guy got a job in 2 seconds. A guy got a job in 2 seconds. Then I went on to say, well, I mean, we don't know what Eric Bieniemy wants to be. We don't know what he wants to do. Let's for a second say that he wants to be a head coach. Hence why he's interviewed 15 times. Success dictates what teams pick and what teams choose. You mean to tell me you got a guy who's been to the Super Bowl 3 times in the last 4 years? He's won 2 of them. His offense, I mean, you look at the offensive adjustments, and Andy Reid said it's him and Bieniemy.
Look at the plays he designed.
At the plays.
Wide open touchdowns.
Nobody else in the NFL is operating like the Chiefs are from an offensive standpoint, the things that they can point out in players, and it's because of Bieniemy and Andy Reid. Like, if you want success, he's got the success. He's got the blueprint. They went to the AFC Championship before Patrick Mahomes was even the starting quarterback with Alex Smith. Like, Alex Smith had success with Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid. If you want success, I don't understand why he's got the job. If you want to tell me that we're going the way of offense, all these offensive coordinators getting jobs. Sure, I played with Kevin O'Connell with the New York Jets. Yeah, he was offensive coordinator for 1 year with the LA Rams. How much was that with Kevin O'Connell, and how much was that with Sean McVay? But after 1 year, he got a head coaching job with the Minnesota Vikings. At some point, I mean, you got to be like, what is the deal? What is the deal? And I'm not blaming the Cardinals because the Cardinals have had 3 or 4 black head coaches.
They don't know what they're doing anyway.
Exactly. So I'm not even blaming the Cardinals. This ain't about them. It's just about what is the NFL doing in terms of the hire process. Like Ryan Clark has also said something before. It's like people hire what looks like them, the rooms they've been in, billionaires, they're not familiar. They don't know your story. They don't know what you go through. Sometimes you want to hire what you're around, which is white people. So, I mean, I think it's some truth to that as well. I don't know what it ultimately is with Eric Bieniemy, but I'm in this space right now, Maz, where I'm tired of trying to figure it out. But until I hear from Bieniemy, I don't want to keep speculating. I want Bieniemy to come out and say, I want to be a head coach. I want Bieniemy to come out and say something, because then we can really dive down to the nuts and bolts about it. Right now, it's going to be another conversation. We're speculating what he wants to do, what's going on, and what's wrong. System's flawed, but I want to know what he wants to do.
You know what he's doing today?
Celebrating.
He's interviewing with the Washington Commanders for an offensive coordinator spot. So in other words, he's looking for the same job that he's had with the Chiefs and gone to Super Bowls, but now maybe he wants to go do it with Ron Rivera, which I don't get that move, because I don't think the Chiefs are going to let Washington pay him any more money than they would pay him. Why would he leave?
It's moves like this, Ryan, I come to you. It's moves like this why I initially have the question and I want to wait to hear from Bieniemy. It's moves like this that make me like, maybe he really doesn't want to be a coach. No coordinator that's come before him has ever had or achieved the level of success that he has and been looking for an offensive coordinator job after such success. So when you see stuff like that, that's where I get confused. I'm like, well, maybe he don't want to be a head coach.
I'm really curious about the Eric Bieniemy thing, and I almost feel bad that we continue to bring, his name up, because maybe he's not a good head coaching candidate.
Yeah,
I just, and maybe that's the blinders that I'm using in my own head to make myself feel better. I don't know, but I can't imagine. I'm thinking about an NFL franchise. I can't imagine an NFL team that believes that Bieniemy would be the first best hire. They're going to pluck him from the three-time Super Bowl champs, but then they're not going to hire him because he's black.
Yeah.
I can't fathom that. I'm sure it happens. But, I think of how bad the Detroit Lions have been for 65 years. 65 years. If you're telling me that they wouldn't hire a guy because of his skin color, I just got nothing for you, and I just can't accept that. The only thing I can truly say about it is something is not resonating in these rooms. You've got 15 interviews he's been on. 15. And not one of them, somebody's been willing to give him a chance. And we talk about the two black head coaches in the NFL. There are 7 general managers. So it was an NFL record last year. So I guess I'm just struggling with where the line is drawn when it comes to Bieniemy. Now, these two guys, I know nothing about Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon. In fact, prior to yesterday, I've never even heard either of their names.
Me neither.
I have to keep looking at the paper.
Yeah.
Because I have to make sure Gannon's going to the Cardinals, Steichen's going to the Colts. I have no idea who these people are.
It's almost a situation where Eric Bieniemy, and this is another side of it too, is when he did his initial interviews, maybe his first or second or third interview, somebody... some scout, some detective, because obviously when you're going through an interview process, when you're talking about money like this, ladies and gentlemen, they're digging into everything. Somebody dug up something. Somebody found something he stood on, something he stands for, something in his religion, something in his past. They found out, they had to have found something. And now all the teams know it, and they're just interviewing him for protocol, but they know they're not gonna hire him because of whatever set information is. So it's almost like it's just like they're just doing it for the look. Hey, we brought in Eric Bieniemy, but everyone has whatever this one thing is that they're not giving him a chance for. Everyone's seen it and they're following suit, and just nobody wants to be the one to come out and say something. That's the only other thing it could be.
What Ryan Clark is saying is, don't give me any crap that you had any intention on even hiring Eric Bieniemy. Did they even interview him? Did Indy or Arizona even interview him? And secondly, the minute after the Super Bowl's over, these guys are already signed, sealed, and delivered.
Well, they were hired the week before.
They were hired already.
Yeah, win or lose.
That's what Ryan Clark is saying.
Yeah.
What it really is, it's a who you know. It really is. And like you said, it's who you're comfortable with, I guess. And until we hear from Eric Bieniemy, and you hear some things. Matter of fact, I saw someone write something on our Woodward Sports chat earlier, that Eric Bieniemy comes with baggage. He comes with baggage since he's been with Colorado back in the day. I don't know what that means, but I'm just saying what I've read in the past and what I just read today to remind me of what I heard about in the past as well. Yeah. I don't know.
Your past follows you. You talk about, there's a difference, Ryan, when, once again, I don't know what it is, but I'm saying it has to be something in this past that people know about, and they keep talking about under the lines, behind closed doors, but won't tell him or won't tell the public.
Maybe it's his family.
Because things do follow you. Like when you're trying to get a job as a running backs coach, or you're trying to get a job as a wide receivers coach or a D-line coach, like it's very different than when you're trying to become the head man. Even offensive coordinators, because you're already on staff a lot of times, they just pull you up. When you're trying to become the head man, they do a way deeper dive. When they're talking about making you a quarterback that they're going to pay $500 million to, they do a way deeper dive. When they draft you number 1, number 2, number 3, they do a way deeper dive into who you are and who you have been. And somewhere in that path, something happened that people don't like.
But I'll tell you this, a guy with no bad history is Jim Caldwell. Jim Caldwell, all he ever done is win. All he's ever done is win. And I'll tell you, the only reason he's not hired is because he's me. He's old.
I was going to say that about Caldwell. Like I'm so conflicted on the Caldwell thing because
he's a slam dunk in Arizona.
I feel like Jim Caldwell at 68 years old, it's going to be really difficult to how much do we talk about Dwayne Casey and his age? You know, I mean, you've got two guys. You've got Pete Carroll and you've got Bill Belichick. Both guys have won Super Bowls, been to multiple Super Bowls, been grandfathered in. You know, Andy Reid is 64. Still, you know, half a decade younger than Jim Caldwell. Yeah. I mean, at that age, at 68, is very difficult to get hired as a head coach in the NFL.
Before you go, sad news. The most beautiful woman ever, one of them, has passed away. Raquel Welch, dead at 82. I just never thought Raquel Welch, I just never pictured her at 82. And I never pictured her, she can't die. She's Raquel Welch.
She was bad.
Wow. She passed away at 82 after a brief illness.
Instantly think about Shawshank Redemption when you say Raquel Welch.
There you go.
He was looking for the poster.
That's right, Andy Dufresne.
God bless.
God bless.
What
and our
woman.
thoughts and prayers are with the family for sure. Hey, guys, let me take a break. Come right back. I want to talk about Michigan football. The odds are out for them. How close to winning a national championship. But first, a message from Les Stanford, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. And there you see it right there, ladies and gentlemen. You can get a 2022 Silverado for $289 a month. That's right. It is Truck Month at the Truck Center. Les Stanford Chevrolet of Dearborn absolutely is there. You can drive off in that brand new 2022 Silverado, just $289 a month. That is like stealing the truck, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale as well. A trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC, located on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. Silverado trucks, though, are in Dearborn, in stock, ready to drive off. All the brands in one spot. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Fine new road.
Find them.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
At Alta, uptime matters at Alta Equipment. They have everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, give Alta Rental a call today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
Stephen Baffy, Ryan, for what it's worth, I would leave pulling out the race card to people who are actually minorities. What does that have anything to do with it?
What happened?
I don't know, having a discussion about black head coaches. I'm not pulling out any race card. I'm trying to have a discussion about, a problem that is in the NFL.
Yeah, the problem with people a lot of times is anytime the conversation is had that they feel uncomfortable with, which is funny. I don't know why it's uncomfortable.
That's a great point. It could be about money. It could be about life. It could be about anything. They're uncomfortable with it.
Whenever people get uncomfortable, they get defensive, and they always pull out whatever you're trying to say. Oh, he's pulling out this. Oh, he's pulling out that. Just because it's an uncomfortable conversation doesn't mean it's not a real one that we need to have where it's not true. So relax.
I think people should have more uncomfortable conversations, by the way, when it comes to many different areas of our life here.
You shouldn't have good friends that don't make you uncomfortable with real questions.
There you go. Amen to that. Guys, it was uncomfortable watching Michigan and TCU, that's for sure. But that is in the past. And moving forward, Michigan has the fourth best odds to win the national championship this year. And I'm just so sick of this one. I understand Georgia. I understand Alabama. But how many times does Michigan have to just absolutely put their foot on the collective throat of the Buckeyes?
Twice.
To have Michigan ranked above Ohio State.
Twice?
In the rankings, in the odds, how many more times do we have to do it? Jim Harbaugh is Ryan Day's daddy. He will show it again and prove it again for a third time. This is the last year that Ryan Day will begin the season as Ohio State's coach, because once he comes to Ann Arbor and they lose again this year, he's out. Ryan Day's going to get fired.
You think Blackbeard's gone?
Gone.
So, to answer Ryan's question, yes. To answer your question based off what Ryan said, yeah, if Blackbeard loses this year, he's out. He's out.
Yeah.
Because one thing about Ohio State,
even if it's the only loss,
doesn't matter.
Okay.
At Ohio State, especially now, everything is national championship or bust. And before you get to national championship, there's one thing you got to do. Or you got to beat the University of Michigan. And that's something that Ryan Day doesn't seem to be able to do. Ohio State, they're not happy. Before that Georgia game, a lot of chirping out of Columbus that they weren't happy with Ryan Day, didn't like what he was doing. Then he won the Georgia, or then he almost won the Georgia game. And they gave him some rope. They was all right. We'll pinch you off some more rope, considering you once again have the second best draft class. I mean, the rookie class. I mean, excuse me, incoming freshman class, and you have the best wide receiver tandem coming back yet again, so they gave him rope. The reason why I don't have a problem with it, Ryan and Monty, because Ohio State's been doing it for a very long time. You look at the recruits on their team, they still got 2 wideouts there. Guess what? Coming back to this year, they're 1-2 in the country. Does it ever matter who plays quarterback for them? Every year they have a quarterback that, whenever they have a new quarterback, he's instantly thrust into the Heisman hopeful biz. And guess what? Typically before he's done, he ends up in New York, whether it was Dwayne Haskins, whether it was J.T. Barrett, whether it was Justin Fields, who just left, whether it was C.J. Stroud, who's been there as well. They're going to find a quarterback. They're going to have offense. They're going to have a running back. I don't mind this because they've been at this spot for so long, deservingly so. But also, we know where Michigan is and what Michigan is going to do. Michigan returns their quarterback. They return another good offensive line. They have the best transfer portal class. They got both running backs back. They got wide receivers back. The defense is a young defense. They're loaded. They're all back with the exception of one player. Let them have that spot because we know what's coming in November.
This will be Michigan's best chance to win the national championship in the last 25 years. If they don't do it this year, it is going to be probably sometime.
Because of one thing? Can we agree on that? J.J. McCarthy?
Without question.
First time they've had a quarterback.
Without question. And I think they have a better chance to win this year than next year. Obviously, Donovan Edwards is going to go to the league after this year. Obviously, Blake Corum is going to go to the league.
Roman Wilson.
Mazi's gone.
He's gone already?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I thought he had one more year.
No, he's gone. Mike Morris is gone. But this is their best, Mike Morris. This is their best chance to win the national championship. If they don't do it this year, then I'm not sure when they're going to do it. They've got a 5-star quarterback about to start his 3rd year at Michigan.
Not to mention, what happens in 2024? There's a shakeup coming, Ryan.
Absolutely.
USC enters the conference. UCLA enters the conference. The landscape changes. Not to mention, who does Michigan open up against in Ann Arbor with in 2024? Texas. It's got to be this year.
I will say this, though, about the USCs and the UCLAs joining the conference. It almost feels like Penn State's introduction, right? I mean, Penn State did they win it? They won it in '95, I think, and then they went on I mean, it took them a while.
That was when they first even got in the Big Ten.
Kerry Collins,
Yeah.
Kajana Carter.
Kajana Carter.
It was those guys. They came in like world beaters, and then it was nothing. So we'll see.
Bobby Ingram.
Yeah, Bobby. Yep. We'll see what USC and UCLA can do. But again, those are going to be tougher games than this. Put it up here.
Thank you.
Those are going to be tougher games than this. Look at Michigan's schedule here to open up the season. Bowling Green, East Carolina, UNLV, Indiana, Rutgers, Purdue, Minnesota, MSU, Nebraska, Maryland, Penn State, and Ohio State. You've basically got 4 games once again. And maybe even lesser than that. I mean, you've got at Michigan State, you've got at Penn State. At Maryland, we always want to count Maryland as a tough game on the schedule. I don't know why we do that.
They got Tungala
Tulia came back.
So I'll say Michigan's got 3 games on their schedule this year. Maybe Nebraska. Nebraska might be better in an infusion with who's the guy from Carolina?
Matt Rule. I think the Big Ten will be better this year because
Wisconsin.
it can't get any worse. So
Right.
There'll be some sleepers. Like Minnesota will be decent. Purdue, I think, will be good this year.
But again, you should beat them.
Well, 101%. I say it'll be interesting. But to your point, once again, this is how the schedule shakes up. It's the easiest schedule. Michigan gets this road. This is the path they choose to walk, which makes it harder when you play games in the semis to adjust to the talent level that you're playing. But, hey, you know what? This has got them to the playoffs twice. This has got them in position to get to national championship twice. So, by all means, keep that if it works for you. This has got to be it, though, because even with that Ryan, USC, UCLA, they're going to be tougher, but, Michigan still be better. They may have to go out to UCLA. They may have to go out to USC. And last time I checked, our school, they don't do so well on the West Coast.
Did you guys see the Instagram video the other day of your backup quarterback?
Yeah,
Robert Orji.
Oh, gosh.
This guy,
it's a tank.
He's like a Hercules.
When Robert Griffin III said Orgy in the end zone, everybody was laughing at the joke. I was laughing at how big that dude was and how he got in the end zone.
Horse.
He's a big dude. And they like him. They like him. They hire him.
Are we going to see him in these beginning games? Are they going to give him some run in these beginning games?
Well, I think you absolutely have to. I mean, look at that schedule: Bowling Green, East Carolina.
Yeah.
Come on, man. UNLV, and I'm fine with it. I want to go on the record and say I am totally fine with this. Nobody cared that Michigan had a soft schedule last year when they beat Ohio State and went to the college football playoff. Nobody cares how you get there as long as you get there and have a seat at the table.
But then lose. We brought up the Eagles and how easy a schedule they had, and look what came waiting for them at the end, where they got basically they allowed one incomplete pass in the second half because they played the weak NFC. So it does come back to haunt you a little.
I don't think so. I don't think Michigan lost to TCU because they didn't play a team 4 months earlier that was a little bit better. I think Jim Harbaugh is doing something very wrong in that layoff. Something very wrong. Each and every year, no matter what schedule they play, no matter what bowl game they're in, they go get their teeth kicked in.
They're unprepared.
Well, Georgia almost got railroaded. Georgia almost lost.
Again, and I go back to this, and I said this back in January, or back in December. Michigan would have a much easier time playing in the national championship game than playing in the semifinal game.
Yeah.
Because playing that second game a week after you play the first game is a lot easier than going 5 weeks without playing a game. That Ohio State game was 5 weeks earlier from the time Michigan played TCU. And I just think it's a terrible process. That's why I was never a big fan of bowl games. I just don't think you play your best game. But whatever the case may be, you got to get through it.
Right.
Those are the rules that everybody plays by. I don't want to be some apologist. But yes, I'm looking forward to 2024 because I think you're going to get a much clearer champion when you got just games just rolling on.
I agree.
One of the big things I was going to say is I've watched Jim Harbaugh's bowl games, especially the last two, because they're in the playoffs. You're trying to find what is the thing? What can you pinpoint? What is something that it looks like I can maybe make an adjustment, or I can make an opinion on something? And early on, they start slow. That was one of Michigan's things in bowl game that Jim Harbaugh's played in. Their teams start slow. But then last year they don't start slow. Last year, first play of the game is a 70-yard run.
Right. Almost
capped off by a touchdown. And in the following series, so it's like they didn't start slow in that one. Something changes though, Ryan. You're correct. Something from Thanksgiving to January 1st changes when Jim Harbaugh coaches the team.
Maybe they eat too much.
Or maybe it's they put too much emphasis on the Ohio State game. And maybe they run out of gas for the next game. Like, yes, the Ohio State game is huge. We need the Ohio State game to get to the Big Ten championship, to get to the semis.
Well, you got a month to heal.
But you don't put all the emphasis and the onus on that game, man. Look, that game's over. You win the Big Ten championship. That game's not over. You got to come up with the same game plan for the semifinals that you have in the Ohio State game, because you look excellent against Ohio State and you look god-awful in the semis.
Guys, let's take a break. Come right back. When we do, we're going to have the voice of the Detroit Tigers, baby. Dan Dickerson going to join us.
Big Dan.
We'll talk about the new rules.
There are a lot of them.
Lots of new rules. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Lady Jane's. Come get an award-winning haircut experience. Register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. You could walk right in. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, Fletch, JB. Braylon, how you doing today? Pretty good hour there.
I'm doing good, man. I think it's an excellent conversation. I think we've been good this year, though. I think the conversations have been really good. I think they've been fluid. I think everybody's getting a chance to chime in. But, I mean, when it's 60 degrees outside and it's your birthday month, you can't be too bad, right, Ryan?
That's right.
Maz is coming up first, though.
Maz is
Saturday.
Hell, Maz is Saturday.
He's
Saturday.
You're going to be in town for that, Maz?
We weren't supposed to, but we might. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, we'll see how it goes. And then, of course, Braylon, yours is coming up next week.
Next Tuesday, man. The big ski.
Unbelievable. How do you feel?
I'm good, man. I think at the end of the day, when you get older, man, it's about relationships, about friendships, how you feel. You know, it's like being intentional in life. And I think I'm doing a decent job at that, if you will, and I'm having fun. Like, so I'm rocking and rolling, baby. 40.
There you go.
It's
rocking.
here,
We're proud.
It's
We're
here.
proud. Guys, we'll get to Dan Dickerson in just a second as we try to get him in here. But I'm really intrigued by this year's baseball season because there are a number of new rules. If we could pop those up, Fletch. Some of the baseball rules, obviously my favorite is there is no shift this year. Thankfully, they have gotten that away.
You and Maz were going ham on that last year. I want you guys to argue. It was great.
The pitch clock is instituted, a timer for the pitchers, and bigger bases. I'm not even sure how that's going to look. I don't even know.
We got a picture of the bases.
Do we have a picture of it? Can we see it?
Look how different this is.
Holy shucks.
Wow.
Look
Well,
at that.
I guess you can't
They're
really.
like pizza boxes now.
That's a big difference.
I mean, you could tell the difference, but
It's big, man.
It is big.
And
That's
not only
a
that, it
huge
takes away 4.5 inches.
It is big.
From each base as well.
What's the
So
reason to do that?
It makes it easier to steal bases now.
Correct.
Is that
Correct.
What is the reason to do that?
Safety.
It's safety.
They say safety.
Yeah, so
right?
you don't block the base as
Hey.
much. In softball, when you're playing as a youngster, they have an orange base right next to the white base. The orange base is it's like for the runner.
Yep.
The white base is for the defender. So you don't run into each other. That's how you learn how to run the bases.
You just hit a very good point for reliever, Ryan. You said, or is it for safety? That's right, because a lot of guys can now be safe. A lot of those throws are about this close.
Yep.
That gives you, now there's a lot of safe people, more guys on base,
more offense.
scores.
You got it.
More offense, no doubt.
More eyes on the game.
Hey, if all the rules are going towards the quarterbacks in the NFL, maybe all the rules should be going towards the offense in Major League Baseball. Let's bring him in. He is one of our favorites. Tigers radio voice.
Well, he's my favorite.
Since 2000. Absolutely. Dan Dickerson, such a pleasure to be joined by you, my friend. Double D, how you doing?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. You know, we were first just talking about the new rules. Is there one that intrigues you more than the next?
Yeah, the pitch clock, because, and it has to be, it's paired with limited throws over to first.
That's right.
And I think that is going to be the biggest impact on the game. So you
Only
throw
two.
over twice.
Yep.
If you don't pick him off and you throw over a third time, you can throw over a third time, but if you don't pick that runner off, he automatically gets second base.
It's a ball.
Rajay Davis has been quoted as saying, "Oh my gosh, if that rule had been around when I was playing, that's automatic. Green light, go to second base for free." And I'm intrigued by that. One of the best examples I saw of what this might mean, a guy named Bubba Thompson for the Texas Rangers that we saw in August, I want to say, down in Texas. He can just fly. But in 80 games, so half a season of a major league season, in 80 games in the minor leagues, under those rules, he stole 49 bases and was caught 3 times.
Wow.
So if you have speed and you have, clearly he can read pitchers and has instincts, you are going to steal a lot of bases this year. And I'm fascinated to see what that's going to mean. It's going to bring the stolen base back in baseball. There's no question. To what extent is what I want to see. Is it a 20% increase? Is it a 40% increase in stolen bases? Either way, the Tigers are trying to take advantage of it. They've added some team speed, but that to me is the single biggest change that we're going to see.
Hey, Dan, let me ask you, you've been around this game for a long time. Did the game need to do drastic things like this to try to drum up a little bit more interest, or just your overall take on the amount of major rule changes that they have made, major infusions of different rules that they put in here?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was time. The biggest thing is they're not just throwing these out there for no reason. They did fan surveys. They asked fans, what would you like to see? We would like to see better pace of play. We would like to see more action, more balls being put in play. And so I think these are very sensible. I've never been a fan of the shift. I'm tired of seeing that beautiful line drive stroke result in a one hop out to a guy standing 90 feet in right field.
Thank you for saying that, by the way, because I've been fighting with this guy, Tom Mazawey, about that
Here it comes.
for a long time.
Let's not play defense.
Hey, Tommy, did they ever legislate how close a cornerback could be up on a receiver at the line of scrimmage in the NFL? Did that make a change?
5 yards only. That's only 5 yards, Dan.
They used to just mug him at the line of scrimmage, and that guy couldn't go anywhere. And offenses were scoring 16 points a game in the 1970s. It was a brutal football game to watch. NFL was boring. Pittsburgh Steelers were giving up 3 points a game. I'm telling you, the NFL is, to me, a very good example of what you can do. Maybe it's gone too far for those who play defense. They say, hey, give us a chance.
Yeah.
But it's opened up the game. Allows you to put your skills on display. These changes are going to allow some of the greatest young athletes that this sport has had in a long time are in this league right now. Many are at shortstop. They're going to be able to put their skills on display more because there's going to be no shifting. Range at shortstop is going to matter. Range at second base is going to matter. And it's going to be a lot more fun to watch.
I get it, man, but why can't those professional hitters hit to a completely open field?
Oh.
Okay, man. All right, man.
I'm asking you.
It's just like, that's not the ball. The hardest hit ball is the pulled ball. So to say just go the other way and you're just going to chili dip it, or you're just going to make contact and be happy to make contact, you're making an easy out. A.J. Hinch always said, when the shift gets beat, it's usually a mistake. a mistake by the hitter because he's just trying to make contact. It's impossible to just say, okay, I'm just going to bang, hit it hard the other way.
Dan, don't worry about this guy, Tom Mazawey. We apologize for Tom Mazawey.
Hey, in other news, you're not allowed to play zone defense in basketball.
Just like you said, when you line up a DB 5 yards off of me, I'll kill him 100%. Appreciate it, Dan. But you brought up A.J. Hinch. Let's go there. Sky Harris, A.J. Hinch. What in year 2 are we expecting out of A.J. Hinch with the addition of Sky Harris as the front office guy?
What was the first part?
I said in year 2 with A.J. Hinch, I said, what should we be expecting as Tigers fans? Because I'm ready to get it going. Like, I'm ready for my Tigers to have some success. What should I be looking for, D, in year 2?
Well, those two together, I think I truly believe, two of the very best. Even though Scott Harris is new in this job, he has been a general manager in San Francisco. First time he's been president of an organization. But this is going to be a powerful combination because they're going to challenge each other to be as good as possible. I'm sure when Scott Harris made a lot of his moves this offseason, he's consulting with AJ because what they were trying to target was not just a certain type of player, but also a certain type of person. And that's the thing that AJ does all year long. Every year he's been in the major leagues, he's finding out about guys. If some guy, catches his eye who might be either an up-and-comer or a guy who's not getting a lot of playing time, might be available in a trade, he's asking the other team about it. Hey, what's this guy like? They want to know, is this someone who's going to come in and bring it every single day? We had Matt Vierling on over the winter on Tiger Talk, and I asked him, what kind of person are the Tigers getting? He said, I'm a guy who loves to go to the ballpark and do the boring stuff. Make it a competition with my teammates and have some fun with it. Whether it's taking ground balls, batting cage, fly balls, whatever it is, whatever boring, mundane drills that we do every day, we have fun with it. And all the other guys feel the same way. When you add a guy like that and you can build that everybody's totally into whatever you're doing at that moment, make a game out of it, make it a competition. That can really start to generate some good things. I think Scott Harris has done exactly what he said he was going to do. He wants to get guys who dominate was his word, dominate the strike zone on both sides of the ball. But on the hitting side, yes, the offense is going to be better because it couldn't have been any worse than it was last year.
No doubt, man.
But for Tigers fans, the thing to watch, and I think we'll start seeing this really right from the start of spring training. Believe me, spring training games can get ugly. But when you keep adding guys on the hitting side who all have an idea of what the strike zone is, who can stay disciplined in the strike zone, now you give your 3 new hitting coaches a chance to make an impact on making them better. But when you have a hitting coach, Scott Kubal knew his stuff, but he's working with everybody was a low walk, high strikeout guy, high chase guy. You're not going to change those guys. Jonathan Scope and Javi Baez are still on this team. They're who they are. But now you've surrounded them with probably on a given day 6 or 7 guys who have an idea of the strike zone. They can draw a walk to get on base. AJ and Scott don't talk about drawing walks, but that's a byproduct of having an idea what a strike looks like. Now you can concentrate on, all right, what pitches in the strike zone can I do the most damage on? And that's where I think the hitting coaches will have the biggest impact. But for me, if you're a fan, you're watching. Are they grinding at bats? Are they at bats longer? Are you getting into bullpens in the first game of a 3-game series in the 5th inning of the first game? That's a big deal. Are you putting together bigger innings on a regular basis? If you have more traffic on the bases, you absolutely should. I don't know about the power component this year. There's no obvious power, source in this lineup, at least who has produced last year. Meadows was gone most of the year. I think he can hit 25. He's certainly done that. Spencer Torkelson can provide power. Riley Green can provide power. So the power component should be there as well. But it really does start with the ability to get on base. And I think we're going to see that. I think you're going to see Vierling has terrific speed. A couple of other guys have added some speed. So it's not just stealing bases, but it's also running the bases. It's going to be a better brand of baseball, but I think not just a little better, because it has to be a lot better, and I think it will be.
Hey, Dan, can you hold with us? We're going to take a quick break here.
Absolutely, Tommy.
Thank
Anything
you, sir.
for you.
Hey, when we come back, I want to talk about Comerica Park, the new Comerica Park. There's a couple other rules, too, I want to hit you on. And all these players are going to play all these different positions. I can't wait for you to geek out on that. Dan Dickerson, starting his 23rd year in the booth. He's with us here on Woodward Sports.
In 2023.
You guys keep it right here with us.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Hey, it's Maz for Chili Peppers Tanning, chilipepperstanning.com. It's officially free tan week from now until Saturday. Not all of us get to go to spring training and get a tan like Dan Dickerson. But new customers, you go to Chili Peppers Tanning right now. Any one of them. There's 27 locations, and you get a free UV tanning right now if you get down there and mention Woodward Sports. 50% off all their lotions, including Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Caltan, and Swedish Beauty. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll save you $5 on unlimited tanning and more. They have the best deals, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters, chilipepperstanning.com.
Hey, and after you grab some of that good tan over there at Red Hot Chili Peppers, get some of this Centron in your life. Better tasting energy drink. That's because it's fashionable, it's fun, and it is functional. They've teamed up with the Detroit Red Wings as well as the Pistons. Anybody at LCA and WoodwardSports.com because they want to re-energize the community. So why don't you let them drink it, live it with Centron.
All right, welcome back. Dan Dickerson, the voice of the Tigers, kind enough to stick around for a couple of more minutes with us. And Dan, as you get ready to head to Lakeland, it is always a time of hope, right? I mean, right. It is, no matter what, you're starting 0-0, everything is in the past. We have been down this road before. How hopeful can Tiger fans be to just go down to the ballpark and to feel good about where your team is going and maybe even run into a win here and there?
Hey, I know there's frustration among the Tiger fan community. I get it. I mean, they've averaged 99 losses a year for the last 5 full seasons. But there will be reasons. I mean, and if you can't be optimistic now, when can you be? But there will be reasons to go to the ballpark. There will be reasons. So to me, this is the time of year it's like, okay, what is the upside of this team based on the upside of some of the individuals? There have been years when we're optimistic going in, but if you really sat back and looked at it and said, what was the upside? Probably like, yeah, you're right. But truly, Green and Torkelson, consensus, nationwide, top 5 prospects in all the game going into last spring training. There was a reason for that. They have talent. Green showed flashes of it. Let's face it, Spencer Torkelson had a rough year. But there was a reason he was at a 1-1. So let's think of the upside of what might be there in Spencer Torkelson's bat. Is he a 25 home run guy? Absolutely. Is he a 35 home run guy? Could be. So you think about, okay, if those two make progress this year, that's, to me, first of all, it's one of the biggest keys for this team in terms of how good the offense is going to be. I think Scott Harris made a great trade with Dave Dombrowski. And think of how many people can actually say that through the years. Dave Dombrowski always seems to fleece whoever he's trading with. But Matt Vierling and Nick Maton are going to add something to this offense. The flexibility, you were talking about it going into the break, Tommy, the flexibility of some of these guys. AJ told us last night on Tigers Talk that there are 19 of the 31 players who are on this roster play multiple positions, and he wants to get a look at a lot of these guys at a lot of different positions throughout the spring. But you're going to have more team speed. There's definitely upside for some of these young players. I'm still intrigued by Akil Baddoo. Akil Baddoo is going to add, I mean, you want guys with speed with these new rules, right? Akil Baddoo's got that. I think he's got great base stealing instincts.
Can he steal
Last
first?
year was a rough year. Okay, how does he bounce back from that?
That's
Matt
tough,
Carpenter is a guy who's got power. not too often that a guy goes from 24 years old, middling prospect to AA, to hitting 36 home runs the next year, minor leagues and major leagues combined, like Matt Carpenter did. He made a change in his swing. It changed everything. I'm really intrigued to see what he does over the course of a full season at the major league level. And then on the pitching side, there's a lot of good young arms. The health worries me. Let's face it, we say this every year, but 17 starting pitchers last year. If there's just a modicum of health for some of these guys. And two guys that I would say keep an eye on. First of all, Matt Manning made some terrific starts, did not stay healthy, but he made 11 starts last year. 3 of those were 7-inning starts where he gave up a total of, I think, 2 or 3 runs in 21 innings. Those are the upside starts for Matt Manning. This is what Matt Manning could be. He can be dominant. I can't wait to see what he does this year. Lorenzen and Boyd, it's just nice to have them back. Those are 2 veterans who are going to be solid pieces in the rotation. But Bo Brisky and Garrett Hill, I think both are starters. I think both, if everybody right now stays healthy, work out of the bullpen, and they could be big weapons out of the bullpen. The multiple inning reliever who can throw mid to upper 90s out of the bullpen is a very valuable piece. And nobody knows how to use his bullpen better with a matchup game than A.J. Hinch. So those are just a couple of guys that I would keep an eye on. But it's just going to be, there's so many things to me to look forward to. But if you're a Tigers fan and you want to say, okay, what do we have to look forward to? Think of what the upside is for some of the players on this roster right now and what things could be if everything clicked instead of everything going the wrong way last year.
Hey, Dan, talk about Casey Mize. I heard we know Tommy John surgery, but now you hear he's got back surgery in the offseason. He was a kid that, I don't know how healthy he was when he was in college. I did hear sometimes that he couldn't stay injury-free. And you drafted him and you build the team. Let's face it, he was supposed to be the guy. What's your take on Casey Mize? Pardon?
He was a 1-1.
Yeah. What is he still?
Well, the back surgery was a surprise to me. That was a stunner. So at this point, it's like, who knows? I wasn't planning on him coming back. When you have Tommy John surgery in the middle of one season, it's usually 2 years away from coming back.
God.
It's not 12 to 14 months. Really, it's 18 months. So, I expected him to be back in 2024 after missing all of this year. And then the back surgery, I just don't know. I'll have to read up on it and find out exactly, the seriousness of that and how that's affected his Tommy John rehab. But it doesn't affect what I was expecting this year, which was 0 innings at the major league level. Sometimes guys come back and pitch a few innings in September, and that actually helps them, even if it's 6 to 10 innings, just mentally to get ready for the following season. But again, I don't know the extent of that back surgery. I just found out about it right before he came on, so I'll have to find out more. But that's really disappointing. I still think this kid is, his 2021 season was pretty good. 3.50 ERA, and they were trying to nurse him through in terms of innings and cutting his innings, but pitching him through September. And it was just, it's a shame what's happened, because I really feel like that he was worthy of the 1-1. If you look at his college numbers, it was pretty worthy of that. And I think he was just beginning to tap into what he might be.
Dan, last thing before we let you get out of here, man. As the voice of the Detroit Tigers, watching, what was your initial reaction when you see JV and Scherz come out for the first time with the Mets uniforms on, reunited? First thoughts.
That's wild, isn't it?
Yes, man. It's still crazy.
That is wild. I don't know. It's like we're spent a little money, haven't they? But to see those two together on a, whatever team, back as teammates, I just think, I hope we can learn something from these two. You can't just say they're freaks of nature. Max Scherzer wasn't supposed to have a long career when the Tigers traded for him. Remember, it's like, he's got a violent delivery, falls off the mound. Well, guess what? He does something right.
Yeah.
Because this guy is unbelievable pitching into his late 30s. Justin Verlander, we should be able to learn something from these guys. Justin Verlander coming back from Tommy John like he did at 39 last year, phenomenal. So I'm happy for the Mets that they've got him, because there's still 2 of my favorites to watch. I love watching pitchers who want to go 9 every time they take them out, and they're not happy when they're taken out, and those guys lead the pack.
Hey, Dan, we lied. I got one more for you. Last one, Miguel Cabrera. This is it for him. And I found this picture, actually, from 2012. This picture, 2012. I used to be down there covering spring training every year for Fox 2. I missed doing that. Yeah, two youngsters from 2012. I just, there is something special about being able to give a farewell to one of the greatest athletes the city has ever seen. Just Tiger fans, how should they feel about Miguel Cabrera in 2023 and just getting out to the park and seeing this legend play baseball one more time?
Yeah, just celebrate and appreciate every moment. I think my favorite parts of the chase to 500 and then 3,000 in consecutive years was just really positioning him as he passed somebody on the home run all-time chart, passed somebody on the all-time hit charts, and you're talking about some of the greatest names in baseball history. That was fun because it just was a great reminder of how great a career he's had. Well, let's celebrate this year. We know it's been a struggle in recent years, but you know what? I think Miguel is just, now that it's in his mind that this is the last year I'm going to be playing, as much as that right knee is bothering him, I'm sure he's done whatever he can to make sure that, okay, it's as strong as it can possibly be. I want to give whatever I can possibly give. And I think he and AJ have such a good relationship. AJ's not going to let him struggle. He's going to make sure that he gets the right number of plate appearances based on how he's hitting. And if he starts hot, AJ will make sure that he stays hot by playing him the right way. And I think that's the biggest thing. AJ knows how to handle it. It's very tricky, right? You don't want to just keep him on the bench all season long, but you also don't want him to struggle mightily like he did down the stretch last year. But AJ's got this figured out. He's got it. He's going to make sure that this is a fun year for him, that he's going to be in situations where he can be productive. And as Scott Harris pointed out, we had an event last fall. He's like, you know what? Sometimes we take for granted. We have a Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Famer on our roster. We take what he's done for granted. And I think he's right. And let's celebrate his career and the fact that he is still on this roster. As Scott Harris said, there is great value still in having Miguel Cabrera on your roster with the impact that he has on everybody else in that clubhouse. And I think that's absolutely true. And I hope that maybe that right knee just gets strong enough so that he can drive the ball to the gaps like we're used to seeing, hit it over the wall once in a while, and just have a nice, solid productive year so that all along the way we can celebrate what he's doing.
Dan, they lied. Maybe moving the fences in will help Miguel Cabrera. They moved the fences in. They shortened them. Tell us about the new Comerica Park and what will it do, and why did they do it?
Well, I really believe they did it for two reasons, and there are two big changes: 10 feet in center field and 7 feet uniform, 7-foot walls from right field foul line to the left field foul line. Those walls went 8.5 feet to 13 feet to 8.5 to 8, I think, in left field. So a uniform 7 feet, that's for Riley Green, so that he can make a few home run robbing catches over the course of a season. I mean, they said that. So that's good. I mean, you get to see these guys put their talent on display. Hard to rob a home run at the top of a 13-foot wall. So that's one part. The other part is just the psyche. And that's really it, because honestly, I don't think this is going to make much of a difference at all. But it's for the psyche of the hitters. So they know that maybe a Spencer Torkelson, the home runs he hit in the minor leagues were bombs. Same for Riley Green. They know that if they crush one to center, they at least have a chance now that it will go out instead of being a 428-foot out. So if that's what it does, that's great. The biggest thing for me is Comerica Park has always been kind of a middle-of-the-pack ballpark for run scoring. I think everybody assumes it's a pitcher's ballpark. That hasn't always been true. And it's usually been somewhere 7, 8, and 9 for home runs. And then the last couple of years it dropped dramatically without any real reason. So I always think about weather conditions, which have a big impact on how a ball flies. So the one thing that it does every year, it's the #1 triples ballpark. So for fans, keep an eye on right center. That wall will still angle out, but will more of those balls that would go one hop to the wall, right where it angled out, be one hoppers over the wall and ground rule doubles versus triples, and how many? Again, the wall in right field it's only about a foot in front of the old, 2 feet in front of the old wall. So how many of those balls that would have hit the wall on the fly now will carry a 7-foot fence on that 13-foot wall and be home runs? So I think we'll see the triples come down, more doubles, a few more home runs. But honestly, guys, I walked it. I saw where the line is going to be for the new fence. It just didn't feel that different. It's a big ballpark, and I'll be interested in talking with Riley Green during spring about how maybe it changes his job in center field in terms of positioning, how he feels about the huge gaps that he has to cover that are now a little bit smaller, left fielders, right fielders as well. Will it help them? I'm not feeling it's going to be a huge change for them in terms of positioning, but I'll be interested to hear what he says. But I think it was a change that had to be made. If it helps hitter psyches, great. If it allows Riley Green to rob a couple of home runs and let fans see those skills on display twice a year, that's great.
I'd take
that. So I think it's something that had to be done. But at the end of the year, I don't think you're going to see it play a whole lot differently.
The great Dan Dickerson, the best in the business. We can't wait to hear your voice call Tigers baseball in 2023. Dan, thanks so much for your time, bud.
You're welcome. A week from Saturday, Tigers and Phillies. Here we go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Go get him, baby.
Dan, go get him. Hey, we're going to take a break. Come right back. When we do, there is a new mock draft out. Todd McShay 2.0. You might be surprised what the Lions are faced with in this draft. There is a quarterback on the board for them. Do they take him? But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Get out.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Winter time in Detroit's always better with comfort food from Big Boy.
Big Boy.
You can get going with the classic meatloaf or the Cajun chicken Alfredo and break out that breakfast, the stuffed potato pancakes. They are back. So are the lumberjack, the Santa Fe garden, and the blockbuster omelets. Get them all at your local Big Boy.
Hey guys, welcome back. WoodwardSports.com. I want to thank Dan Dickerson once again, the voice of the Tigers. There is, between the two Dans, Dickerson and Miller, we are very lucky.
So good.
And
so
Ken
good.
Cal, come on. Forget about it. These guys are simply the best. There is a new mock draft that Todd McShay just put out within the last 20 minutes.
Okay. I
want to touch on it briefly and just give you some nuts and bolts. We'll take a deep dive into it tomorrow. Is that fair?
I love it.
Okay. Todd McShay with the mock draft 2.0. This is his post-Super Bowl mock draft. He's got the Detroit Lions going defense at 6 and 18. At 6, he's got the Lions taking Miles Murphy, defensive end from Clemson.
Yeah.
At 18, he's got the Lions taking defensive back from Georgia, Keely Ringo, because he's got Christian Gonzalez gone, Witherspoon gone,
how about Johnny
Joey
Ringo?
Porter gone. couple of those guys. We'll take a deep dive into it tomorrow. But again, defense, Braylon, with a quarterback on the board. That quarterback is Will Levis.
Yeah, 100%. Actually, I'm cool with this. We could talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. But look, guys, we saw the NFL playoffs this year. We saw what won. Obviously, great quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. But just look at the defense. Defense was the thing. Defense was the thing to me in the playoffs. You got to have a defense. You got to get those players. So I don't mind this at all. But at the same time, we'll talk tomorrow. Getting a quarterback in that top pick, man, that might be something that you want to think about. In the deep dive, Ryan, deep dive, quarterback. And the reason why I say this, I love Jared Goff. Jared Goff doesn't win on the road. Jared Goff doesn't win in big games. It's something that you got to take a look at. But I don't mind this from Ty McShay. You got to have defense if you want to get there. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles. You look at how good the Chiefs defense played as well. You look at Cincinnati. What was their calling card? Defense helped them when Chase wasn't there all this year. Defenses help teams get to those last 6 spots in the playoffs. I'm not mad at it.
We already got their defense fixed. Remember, we fixed it in the first hour. You got Devin Bush, you got Gardner Johnson, you got James Bradbury, you got Jalen Ramsey, you got all these guys. They can fix your defense. Get me my freaking quarterback for the future, and get me whatever best a player available is at that spot. I don't give a damn if it's offense or defense. Just get me a quarterback in one of those picks.
And that's, again, we'll take a deep dive into that tomorrow. It just came out. Wanted to give you a sense of that. I want to be able to study it so I can have an informed opinion about which way this mock draft goes as well.
It's a great free agent class, and you got money.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Guys, we'll take a break, come right back. More NFL next, but first a message from Custom Health Centers. Custom Health Centers is a customized approach to weight loss. They take the willpower out of weight loss, whether it's 20 pounds, 120 pounds. Custom Health Centers has just the plan for you that fits your body and your weight loss needs. It is working for me, down over 16 pounds since I began the program. Standing strong, baby. Here I go as we hit winter break. Might be heading south. You never know.
Ooh, check you out.
Look at that. But first, give them a call right now, 844-789-THIN. That number, 844-789-THIN.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. I want to thank everybody watching live on fox2detroit.com and the Fox 2 News app. We thank you very much. We got some numbers over the last 2.5 months we've been on that platform.
Fox,
and they were really, really good and continue to grow every month. So just wanted to make a special shout out to everybody watching on that platform, fox2detroit.com and the Fox 2 News app.
100%. It's fun to be on there. I think we get open up eyes. More people can view us on that, having that. A lot of family members hit us up. You guys are doing a great job. So love the partnership with Fox. And it gives us things like Dan Miller.
Without
complain about D. Miller.
Without question. All right, Tom Mazawey, here we go.
Let's do
around the NFL.
My favorite segment of the day. And let's start you off with yesterday, Valentine's Day. And Juju Smith-Schuster kind of give it a little. He gave the business to James Bradbury, but A.J. Brown did not take too kindly to it.
First of all, Juju Smith-Schuster tweeted out a happy Valentine's Day, everybody, with kind of I don't know how to describe it if you're listening, but it has James Bradbury's face on it and says, "I'll hold you when it matters most." Of course, Bradbury got called for the hold on Juju Smith-Schuster that really kind of sealed the Super Bowl for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, A.J. Brown, the wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, tweeted out, "First off, congratulations. Y'all deserve it. This is lame. You was on the way out of the league before Mahomes resurrected your career on your 1-year deal, TikTok boy. He admitted that he grabbed you, but you don't act like you don't act like you like that or ever was. But congratulations again."
I love when you read like.
First of all, congratulations. Y'all deserve it, but this is lame. You was on your way out of the league before Mahomes resurrected your career.
You gotta have the energy. You read it, but basically you said like, "Yo, like congratulations, but dog, this is lame. This is real lame. Like you was on your way out the league. Like you really were. You was on your way out the league. It didn't work in Pittsburgh after all this stuff. You talked to AB. AB told us that you weren't like that. That you benefited off of him." And then what happened? You see, more interesting TikTok. You see before the season, he's doing the crate challenge and messes his ankle up. That's why I said the Pittsburgh Steelers, they made a move and got rid of him. It was very smart. I didn't know how I was going to work with the Kansas City Chiefs. You see him before the game. Now, he was better last year, but he spent a lot of last year hurt. That's why he was better, and you see this stuff, the antics before the game. A.J. Brown is 1,000% right. This is corny. Mm-hmm. This is cornball stuff. You don't post like, bro, like my man played a great game. Like, got a holding penalty, admitted it was a holding penalty. Gray was a good dude, stood up at the podium. By the way, their whole squad stood up at the podium, nothing but class. And this is how you come out the next day with this corny-ass Valentine's Day.
I don't like it.
Everything A.J. Brown said, I love. And I read the comments. I hate when people comment about somebody after somebody's a bad winner and they try to make the guy out to be a bad loser. Like you read the comments, sounds like a salty dude to me. Sounds like a guy that's a bad loser. Sounds like a sore loser. Sounds like a guy that's very respectful. Sounds like a guy that didn't have a problem until corny ass Juju Smith-Schuster is like,
he's sticking up for his teammate.
Exactly.
Juju Smith-Schuster
is a cornball.
He wasn't going to catch that ball.
He has not been good since Antonio Brown left his side. Period.
Like, he made some plays. Now, he made some plays in that game, but he didn't make anything special enough to where he needed to post this or where Kansas City Chiefs need him next year. Because if I'm looking at their roster and the moves that they're going to make, he's the guy I'm not bringing back. We don't need you.
No one's buying his jersey.
We don't need you. Nobody's buying your jersey.
Nobody cares.
You don't have enough moments for us to keep you. And side note, can we give Andy Reid one more last piece of credit for being a damn good coach? Sky Moore doesn't catch a touchdown all last year during the regular season. Doesn't catch one touchdown.
I liked him for anytime touchdown.
As a first
round, say that.
That's good.
Yeah. As a first round pick or beginning of the second round as a pick, didn't score one touchdown. He watches Christian Watson start to ball at the end of the year. What did Andy Reid do? Because those minds they're fragile. Going into his second year, Andy Reid sets him up to have a touchdown in the biggest moment of his life.
And he fed Tony.
Do you know the energy that's going to give Sky Moore in the off season? Sky Moore is going to work with Patrick Mahomes. That's called being a damn good coach and leader.
So's Kadarius Toney.
Oh, Kadarius Toney's about to get off.
Those two guys
about to get off.
See a Schuster.
Even Valdez-Scantling. He didn't do anything in the Super Bowl, but he was a strong catalyst in the playoffs.
Good player.
Oh man, the AFC Championship round, he had a hell of a game. He had 119 and a touchdown.
He catches everything. You throw his way, he catches everything.
The most reliable wide receiver they have.
Right now, he is.
Yeah.
Right now,
hey, let's spin the wheel where Derek Carr is going to land. Where do you guys think is the best fit for Derek Carr? There's your choices.
Carolina.
There's your choices.
Carolina.
I said
you
Carolina
guys tied.
Too.
Carolina, and they draft Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson's is coming here.
Carolina, and this is why we can get to the Anthony Richardson. I'll let you
New Orleans.
I'll let you expound on that. For me, Derek Carr, Carolina, you look at the division. Division's in terrible shape. The Saints are in bad shape. Tampa's losing Tampa time. They're in bad shape. The Atlanta Falcons, they're in bad shape. Good coach, bad shape. You look at Carolina, they got Frank Wright. You look at Derek Carr. Both those guys got kicked out of where they were. Derek Carr, he got fired 5 games left in the season, and Frank Wright got fired as well. Like, these guys need each other. I think you look at that defense that they had. That defense is really good. Detroit Lions saw that firsthand. The defense is good. DBs, J.C. Horn finally was able to play last year. Defense is really good. I think Frank Reich is looking at this as another chance. I think you get those two guys together. Look at all the quarterbacks that Frank Reich has had. They've had their best. You talk about Carson Wentz losing to the Jaguars, but talk about his efficiency that year. 27 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions, over 71% passing completion rate. Look at Carson Wentz in the Super Bowl. Now look at another guy. I can't think of the other guy. Phillip Rivers. Look at Phillip Rivers' efficiency under Doug Peterson, as old as he was. I'm telling you like this. This could be, not Doug Pearson, excuse me, Frank Wright. This could be a great match if they match it up this way.
Can I change my mind and just say NFC South? It's either Carolina or New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Whoever he goes to, that's who wins the division.
New Orleans is the only place so far he's visited.
Yeah.
Listen, I think you guys are forgetting, like, if Aaron Rodgers somehow does not sign with the Jets.
I don't think he's signing with the Jets.
Then I think they're going to go get Derek Carr.
I don't think so.
I watched Boomer Esiason's show this morning in New York, and they had a segment on the Jets quarterbacks, and they kind of feel if the Jets don't get their big fish, that they're going to be winding up with some of the bottom of the barrel guys, and he threw in, they might get stuck with a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think Garoppolo goes to the Raiders.
He doesn't have to change his
with Sean McDaniel, what's his name? Josh McDaniels.
The thing about
former New England guy.
The problem with the Jets for Carr to me is this. What type of coach is Robert Saleh? It's a defensive coach. You got a quarterback that's trying to figure it out, a quarterback that's in a fragile space. He's still elite, but he's on his way down because he's this move out. I'm not going to a defensive-minded head coach that just fired their offensive coordinator that wasn't necessarily that good anyway.
But they brought Hackett in.
Okay, they brought Hackett in, but was it Nathaniel Hackett or was it LaFleur's or was it Aaron Rodgers? Like, I'd rather go to a system where you have an offensive-minded coach. You got Frank Wright. We have a similar thing in common. I'd rather go there. I think Derek Carr, it's too much going around the New York Jets for him. I think down there in Carolina, he's out of the way. He's not in front of New York media. That New York media is brutal, man. You know all about it.
Of course.
I don't know if Derek Carr needs to be in that situation. I think Carolina, NFC South, out the way with Frank Wright, I think it'd be better for him.
I will say I absolutely believe that Aaron Rodgers will be a New York Jet next year.
Or a Raider.
Not a Raider. I think Jimmy G is the Raiders guy.
Okay.
I think Jimmy G goes to play with Josh McDaniels.
Maybe they like their guy,
Patriot
Stidham.
guy.
Maybe they like Stidham.
No, Stidham in that division, hell no.
No.
Last before we go to break, where's my guy Baker going to go? Baker Mayfield, rumored that he can go to the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any feelings about Baker Mayfield at all. Zero. I thought he did a nice job.
I think he stays with the Rams.
I would if I were him. I would absolutely just stay.
Yep.
Ride this thing out.
Yep.
Ride this thing out.
Stafford is, a hit away from getting knocked out for the year again. Let's face it, the guy is playing with a bad neck, a bad back, and he's got a lot of baggage on him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's one of the greatest. He's one of the greats, I think. He won a Super Bowl. But I think he's a hit away from not playing anymore.
I would absolutely stay in L.A.
Yeah, we talked about it after the Rams-Seahawks game. Yeah, the infamous game as it relates to Detroit Lions. But I said, why would you go anywhere else? I said, you're backing up Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford may not play. He may get injured. You don't know. It's a good situation when he's ready to take over. And then that backup job is a good one. You want to get in with a good squad. The Rams are a good squad. Sean McVay, back up for him.
Vic Fangio landed today. He's with the Dolphins as their defensive coordinator. So the former head coach of the Denver Broncos, now in Miami with Mike McDaniels and that team. That's a nice little fit for him.
Yeah, and I was curious to see, he was with the Eagles for 2 weeks.
He just got paid as it
didn't help.
A 2-week fee.
It was what do you call it? It was a private contractor fee.
Yeah.
He got paid a private contractor. My thing is, and Chad, who's in, right? What's up to Chad over there? What's up, Chad? Chad hit the nail on the head. He was like, why would you bring in Vic Fangio to help your team prep when Vic Fangio got killed by Patrick Mahomes for years? Right. It's not a guy that you have help you in those moments, and obviously it did not help because that defense was even worse than they had been. So.
Torn up. Maz, one more. I want to get to this old Greg Olsen right now. If we could.
Got it. You want me to get Greg Olsen right here?
Yeah.
All right. Greg Olsen is going to make $10 million next year as the number one analyst with Kevin Burkhardt on Fox. When Tom Brady shows up the following year, Burkhardt goes to the 2-hole, and he loses $7 million of those dollars.
When I saw this story, and then you see all the quote tweets about it from all these people about how great Greg Olsen is, and I love Greg Olsen, and it's great, and it's not fair. I think somehow, some way, I don't know. You're not going to go back on your Tom Brady contract, are you?
I would.
But
he's not gonna. They're not gonna.
They're not gonna.
They're not
So
gonna.
Brady's getting that job.
I don't understand. I think you make it a 3-man box then. You make it a 3-man team.
And then why?
I don't know. Remember Collinsworth started with Madden. He started the 3-man box.
But they weren't making $60 million in the booth.
It was with Troy Aikman, Chris Collinsworth, and Joe Buck.
They were making $60 million in the booth.
But you're not going to have a $65 million booth. It's just not going to happen. And it shouldn't happen.
Why? When it's a multi-billion-dollar TV deal.
Because you're not giving money away. You're not just there to throw money away.
He don't deserve to get the number one spot.
But he got it. He got it. Whether you think he deserved it or not, he got it. Money talks. Everything else takes a walk.
It's got to be a way around this, though, because to your
I hope he
point,
sucks.
money talks, BS walks. But
then you're a jerk.
It's got to be something to it. Like 10-3. I don't understand how Fox does. He said you're a jerk. You know he hates Tom Brady anyway. You know he hates Tom. But I just don't understand how you drop a man's wages from 10-3. Like I ain't going for this.
We got the number one game or not? You know, I mean.
But like, how do you drop my wages? Like, why do my wages have to drop? Is there a salary cap into what we're paying announcers?
Probably as part of the business plan. Yeah, I mean, you're going to pay.
Well, I'm done with Fox then.
Well, I'm sure he can get released if he wants.
And I'm sure he's a high commodity.
I bet you he will go. Charles Davis
NBC needs
left.
him desperately.
Maybe he can replace Romo.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Screw you, man.
Maybe. You know what I'd like him to do? Replace Collinsworth.
Oh, Chris Collinsworth?
Yeah.
Very good.
Get the hook on
Greg
Collinsworth.
Olsen is fine.
I've never liked Chris Collinsworth.
All right. Very good, guys. Take a break. Come right back. Where is the NBA going? Are they about to leave ESPN? Oh, I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. You know what I did for Valentine's Day? Got myself and my wife few beautiful steaks from Fairway Packing Company. I don't know where the read is, but here it is.
What'd you eat last night, brother?
We had 2 beautiful Wagyu New York strip steaks.
Now I'm salivating.
Cooked to perfection on my brand new Weber grill. Unbelievable. Fairway Packing Company, family owned and operated since 1956. The dry-aged Wagyu Tomahawk steak, Chop House steaks, the Burrata Blend burgers, the pork chops are second to none. It is incredible. Go to their steak shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or you can just order online. They ship anywhere. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Sourced, cut, aged, packed to perfection.
Yes, sir.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Be sure to check Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Swiss can help make sure you have the proper coverage. Swiss Insurance can also make sure you have everything you need, so why not give them a shot? Hit up Mark at Swiss Insurance Group right now.
You know, certain networks are just synonymous with the athletes in the NBA that they played. For example, Magic and Larry were all about CBS.
Yep.
And then NBC took over, and it was Michael Jordan's network.
It was.
And then ESPN ABC took over, and it was LeBron James's network.
Yeah.
Whose network is next? Which player is next, Tom? And we have seen here, Front Office Sports tweeting out per CNBC that NBC Sports is expected to make an aggressive offer to win back the NBA rights after 20 years without them. NBA games have not been on NBC Sports since 2002 when the network lost the rights to Disney and Turner Sports. I hope like hell that this happens. Because I'm all ESPN'd out.
Don't you think they cover the game well?
I think they do a fine job.
Because it's ESPN/ABC.
Yes, I think they do a fine job, but I am just over ESPN. I just feel like
ESPN everything.
ESPN everything. That network to me has totally jumped the shark on so many things.
Yeah.
Do they do a lot of things well? Absolutely. But I just think that network has totally jumped the shark. I find myself never watching ESPN.
How come, right? What don't you like?
I don't like all the screaming and yelling that they do. I don't like all the politics that they throw into games anymore.
You don't like the way they push the WNBA and
I don't like
women's
that.
college basketball down your throat?
I'll never forget Tom Brady retired and they got a picture of a college.
Yeah.
Brianna
Stewart going to the New York Liberty.
The front page of ESPN. Like, I just feel like they've jumped the shark to me. I like to spread it around.
Well, they are politically correct, to the max.
Yeah.
My thing and why I wouldn't be minding going back to NBC is I just remember being a kid and I remember hearing that theme song on Sunday. You know, it was nothing better than that.
Which Fox College Basketball has taken down.
Exactly. Yeah. They use it, but it was a theme, and you know you hear it. It's at a 1 o'clock game, and then you know the next game was going to be at 5 o'clock. It was going to be at 4:45, and usually it was going to be a Michael game, or it was going to be the Spurs. It was the Lakers when they were good during their run. Like, I miss that. So if they're going back to NBC, I'm cool, because that means Sundays we're going to have some good games. Like their broadcasts, Marv Albert, like their broadcasts were amazing leading up to a game and then during the game. I understand what you're saying. It was it's just about the game,
right?
Whereas nowadays with ESPN, it's about everything else.
I will say this. My favorite spot to watch NBA, hands down, is TNT, TBS.
Yeah,
because of
Shaq.
I love everything they do. That's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
To me, that's like a sitcom to watch. To watch Chuck and Shaq and Kenny the Jet with my main man Ernie in the middle. I love that.
20+ years now, man.
I love that.
It's crazy.
I love their announcers. I love Brian Anderson. I just think they are the next thing to me. I like the way they do baseball, too. I like the way they do their sports. Way back when, they were the first team to have Thursday night football.
That's right.
They had Saturday night football. It broke in on TNT. They know what they're doing. They've always done
TNT
sports.
does great job.
They've always done sports beautifully.
Yeah, even their NHL coverage is better than ESPN. Like their NHL coverage, their announcers suck, but their stage, their pregame, their halftime, and their post, even that PK Subban is amazing.
And maybe if you spread the wealth around a little bit, I mean, you've got football on Fox and CBS, and you've got basketball on NBC, and you've got hockey on ESPN. Maybe all the other, like the basketball and the hockey and the baseball might be taken care of a little bit better. Hockey and baseball and then basketball will be all taken care of at least a little bit better.
If I was the NBA, I would throw everything on TNT, TB, the finals.
Yeah.
But you can't because they're not on it. It's not a network.
Right.
Television. You can't get it on 2, 4, 7.
TBS and TNT.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the downside of that. That's it. Other than that, they don't compare.
Is there an app for that? Can you get it on streaming?
I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
But you're going to tell that to your dad?
Right.
If your dad don't have cable?
Right.
Better figure it out, Pops.
Hey, good show. We got a big show tomorrow, too. Braylon's got a Top 10 Thursday. We'll take a deep dive into Mock Draft 2.0. Lots to get to, baby. Let's go.
Can't wait, man.
Get us out of here.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, tomorrow, you know what it is. It's Thursday. It's Top 10 Thursdays. We got a great topic for you guys. Also, you saw Tom Mazawey 2.0, and his list came out. What does Detroit Lions, what do they really need to do at that pick at number 6? What are they going to do? We'll talk about that. Also, you see the backboard right there. Michigan State, we didn't forget about you. Still sending a lot of love, a lot of prayers your way, everybody involved in that community. We support you. We stand with you. We're strong with you. Michigan State, we love you. From my man, JB, Fletch, Uncle Maz on the couch, my brother from another mother, Ryan Ermanni. You know what it is.
You know what time it is.
Amon-Ra and Edwards with Maz. We do this.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.